not much of a theme. Can't imagine going to my composition teacher and to say, wow, have I got a wonderful theme, parallel fifths, I mean, what do you want, But I think it is, of course, a basis for some sort of composition. But what happens then? The most expressive interval that there is. So after I've done boom, 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 suddenly ti-do, 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 ti-do. Now, is it possible to play this at the same time that you play this? Because I don't think it's possible. You cannot say things that differently at the same speed. This nice piano is by Chris Mana. This nice piano is by Chris Mana. I mean, I couldn't say, this nice piano is by Chris Mana. I mean, you can't do it, really. And how could anybody possibly do it? Well, everybody does. They just play it the same, Look now. Drum, drum. Now we are being very assertive about this thing which seemed so innocuous. Suddenly, dum, dum, T comes back with Now what happens here? The piece begins. This is the beginning of the piece. There was a wonderful article some years ago, many years ago, by American musicologist Janet Levy about this little Beethoven piece. Sorry. We know that we're moving as soon as the Alberti bass comes in, and that's exactly what happened. And off we go. This is perhaps even more serious. This is the Opus 90 of Beethoven. Now, what does he write next? Now, what has he done here as the maximum he could possibly do to tell you that this is exactly the same gesture, as different as possible? It's not just different in space and harmony and things, but he's written short notes and rests and forte, and then he writes long notes and portato and all of this. Again, is it possible, even thinkable, to play these at the same speed? Because I don't think it is. Now, what do you have here? Again, I would think this is in quite a different speed. T-da-da, T, all of this kind of thing going on. And I have to say that all recordings by modern pianists know to me play 1, 2, 3, 4 at exactly the same speed with absolutely no break in between. I presume music has to have punctuation. We don't even get a comma. One of the important things that happens when I go and give master classes is when I talk about this kind of thing, that this is a different speed, almost everybody says, but my teacher said in Beethoven you're not allowed to change speed. That's romantic later. You're not allowed in Beethoven. So when I was preparing this, I wrote to a lot of these students that I had seen in master classes and said, do you have any quotes from any of your teachers? I'd love to have a quote somewhere that says, in Beethoven, you never change speed. And none of them could give me any, but they all said, no, every teacher I had told me this. Now, here's a quote from Beethoven. In the song Nord oder Süd, he indicates a metronome mark of 100, but adds the following. 100 according to Melzel, however, this can only apply to the first bars because sensitivity has its own pulse and is not quite expressible by the rate of 100.